Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule of the Galaxy friends, it is Joe in the pilot seat of Chapter 369 of the Rule of the Galaxy podcast. As always, you can like and subscribe, follow whatever on YouTube. We'd love you to do that, which we are live right now. Or you can follow us on any podcast platform that you want. We're pretty much everywhere, 369 episodes in. And we've got a little bit to talk about because Darth Maul starts next week. So this is a little preemptive Maul show here. I've got a little show and tell to do. But if you have any comments you want to add in, also email us at ruletheGalaxySW@gmail.com. But I'm going to hang around with my crew tonight. Most of them are here. I think one might show up a little bit later. But let's start with my cousin here in Indy, Alfie Molinaro. How are you, Alfie?
Doing good, Joe. We're busy right now. Sports are picking up. We've got something every night. Now the weather's nice, so the ones who aren't in sports want to be outside all day. It's nonstop here.
Yes, you are. Hey, yo, from Michael Nip already. Thank you, Michael Nip. Which Michael Nip and I were just discussing the future Southern Rim episode that we're going to do with him, Scott Rifen,
Nice.
Steve Glosson, maybe Garrison Rifen. But thank you, Michael Nip. Yeah, you guys are at that age. We talked about it last week with D-Doc and you. Kids playing ball, chasing stuff, going through school, all the craziness. Alfie, at least you don't have diapers going on right now at the house.
Don't jinx me, man. Yeah, thankful for that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we're done with that for a while.
One guy who is dealing with that on a daily basis right now is the one and only Dave Doc from Philly. D-Doc, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. The kids had off today, Holy Thursday, and really the break has begun. So usually we have a pretty good bedtime. I'm sorry if I'm clearing my throat. I'm getting over some crap, but
okay.
Usually we have a pretty solid 8:30 bedtime. But man, they were dragging it tonight. That's a reason why the show is starting a little late, because they were just brushing their teeth a little slower. After you get them in bed, you need to go to the bathroom. You forgot to give them a water. It's like, by the time you're done it feels like it was just a process, but we're in it. So we had a fun day today. We went and saw the new Mario movie, met up with one of the other families from school. So it was a good day today.
You got it. Yeah. And you said the Mario movie was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was thinking today, I wonder what it must be like to go into it and not have like any knowledge of like some of the Easter eggs, because it's loaded with Easter eggs. So I'm like, I wonder if it's entertaining for someone who doesn't know like that there's a call out or an Easter egg to something every 5 minutes in the movie, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's in that world. So yeah. I don't even know if it would even I don't even know if you could even consider it Easter eggs, but I loved it. I mean, I saw these reviews coming out of people being like, they should have went deeper with the movie. They could have been more emotional with it and all this stuff. And it's just like, dude, movie. It's just a fun movie. So like, I know, I want to listen to, I was talking to Jake James Lugo. I haven't listened to his review of it yet. And he was saying, we're talking about having him on the show again soon. Yeah. So maybe me and him will do a spoiler dive into that at one point in the near future here. But it was good. I enjoyed it. So
good.
I saw Discussing Film gave it a 2 out of 5. I'm like, to me, like, you're giving 2 out of 5. That means it's a horrible movie. I was entertained for the whole thing. So I don't know.
As Brent would say, I just want to be entertained. So I need to catch up. I didn't see the first one, and it's got a lot of good voice actors. So I'm going to go check that out. But one thing we did talk about briefly last week, which Alfie, I'm going to catch your opinion on it real quick before we hop into deep Star Wars talk, was Project Hail Mary. That is on my agenda still. Life, as you guys mentioned, has been hectic and crazy. I have not gotten a chance to go see that, and I really wanted to. But I'm planning on going to see that very soon. Neither one of you have seen that yet, right?
Nope.
Okay.
It's on my list.
I've heard nothing but good things from every person who's seen it. So I am chomping at the bit to go check it out. And it came from the same guy who wrote The Martian, right? So that movie was great. That book was great. I'm all in on it. So yeah, I'm pumped on that. But if you guys don't mind, as we sometimes do some show and tell on here, before we get into Darth Maul talk and Mando talk and other things we're seeing out there in the Star Wars universe, I was going to do a quick bit of show and tell. As you guys saw, I did make some purchases last weekend. And I already started unboxing some things because I just cannot stand to have things boxed anymore. I'm really becoming opened up, put it on the shelf, play with it, let the whatever. This is a Captain America. It's Steve Glosson, if he was watching, would tell me what year it was from. I've got the box from over here behind me. I'll go check it out. But it's very cool. It's a vintage one, when he had the old shield from back in the 40s like this. Gorgeous figure. Got it in the box for $20. And I said, the heck with it. I'm opening it. And it's fantastic. Came with a little booklet with it. It's a great Captain America figure. And it does really well back there with my Captain America collection. So that is one thing. Number two, as you guys know, I found this. Y-Wing right here, Micro Machines. Now this was from
97.
Yeah, 1996. Still boxed, a little beat up on the box and everything, but the guy wanted 25 for it. I offered him 20. He gave it to me for 20. I'm not keeping it in that box. I just wanted you guys to see it in the box still. As you can see at Walmart at one point in time, it was $6 on clearance with the tag still on the front there. But man, I cannot wait to open this and add it to the Y-Wing collection. It's a gorgeous, and now I've got red, yellow, and now blue options of the Y-Wing. I was talking to my wife the other day and I said, you know what I want? I want to go and buy, here we go. Y-Wing goodness. You are correct, Michael Nip. I want to go buy another one of these beaters like I did with that she got for me that Brent painted up. And what I plan on doing, because if you buy them regular, if you buy those right there, they're $150, $200, all put together, all that. I'd rather buy the $35 body, go get the 3D printing done on the rest of it. But I kind of want to go ahead and be crazy with it. And I want to give it to Brent, having painted all black and put a Steelers logo and like a yellow pinstripe right down the middle of it.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I printed a clone the other day and painted it Eagles colors for fun because the print got screwed up. And I was like, I have it over here. The green really isn't totally accurate to it.
Oh, no, it's fantastic.
I screwed up the visor on it a little bit, but I kind of tried to. It's not really coming through on the camera that well, but I was just like, you know what? Let me just grab some paints and mess around with it and see what it could look like. So it's a phase 1 clone trooper, but the print's not very accurate and his leg broke and I glued it. So yeah.
Well, I love it. And I can't wait for you to get deeper into the printing. And then my last show and tell item is the Trapper Wolf helmet. It does play different things on it. It does droid noises. It has one of him talking to the bass that comes through your headphones, and then it has one talking to Mando in the Razor Crest. So it has that conversation goes on in your head. It's got the mic right there, got padding inside, got the Trapper Wolf logo on it, got the yellow Rebel symbol on the side. I couldn't pass it up. So get this. I saw it, and I saw some guy had $25 on it. And I thought, man, that's a Black Series helmet. And it was in the box. I mean, I've got the box right here. He had it in the box still. And so I went, and there were some other guys selling some of these around there. And so I went up and I asked the other guys. I was like, hey, how much for the Trapper Wolf helmet? One guy, 75. I'll give it to you for 75. I was like, okay. Went to the next guy. 90. It's my last one. I'll give it to you for 90. I walked right back to the guy, had $25. I said, are you serious? That's 25? He goes, yeah. He goes, have it. I said, take it, $25. I'm walking away with it. Probably one of the best Star Wars deals I've ever made in my life. It was fantastic. So had to share it. I'll get some pictures and stuff put together of me unboxing these things, but it's pretty cool. And now I've got to go put Trapper Wolf back there by Rex on the helmets behind me. So
were you yard sailing, Joe, or was this?
no, there was a little toy thing going on out east of town, and I said, Lori and I were talking about it. I was like, we got nothing going on. Can we stop by there? Checked it out, and I was like, let's go. So I just picked it up and ran with it. So, but it was absolutely fantastic, and every now and then it's funny because Lori was like, wow, those guys went 75 and 90. And I was like, I'm telling you, I said, between me, D-Doc, Alfie, Brent, we talk about prices. We talk about different things. We see them online. I was like, when I saw that guy had that, I was like, I have to get that. Even though it wasn't something I was ever going to plan to buy. But to go along with it, Joey had bought me the Dave Filoni Trapper Wolf figure in a box. And so I have it.
Pass that up.
No, so I have that, and now I've got the helmet that matches the little helmet that goes on the 6-inch Black Series. So, hey, Michael Nip, Target here was stocked with Black Series Mando and Grogu figs. It's starting to feel like Hasbro understanding how to sell toys again. You know what, Michael? I have not seen any yet. Well, I have seen the Sigourney Weaver character out and about, but I haven't really seen much else. Alfie, have you found anywhere?
I have not, but I haven't been to Target either. I know are they only Target, or is it Target and Walmart exclusive? I thought they were both.
I think there's some at both, or they should be out of both. But I've been by Target, and the only thing I saw there was the Sigourney Weaver figure, and that was hard to say. I don't get to Walmart very often, so I don't check it out.
I haven't seen a single Mando and Grogu yet, but I figured now is the time. So
yeah.
The new Lego sets are hitting shelves now. So I figured, as Michael Nip is saying, that it's starting to feel like they understand how to sell toys again. Like, it'd be pretty cool to see all the Mando and Grogu Legos go on the shelves at the same time as the Black Series figures. Get some hype going. Like, let's go.
Right.
I hadn't really looked for them because most places or people that I'd seen had found them, they were non-purchasable. How would you describe it? You basically couldn't buy them. Yeah, you couldn't buy them because they have a street date on them. Now, that doesn't always work, but for the most part, it does. So I hadn't really put any effort into looking yet.
And not to derail us, but on the topic of this, one thing that bothered me today is I saw the Super Mario movie in IMAX, and there was not a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer that I saw. Now, I did miss like probably the first two trailers, and the other family we were with was in there before. So when we left the movie theater, the first thing I asked the guy was like, did you happen to see a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer in there by any chance? And he was like, no, I didn't. I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, this theater is full of the audience that could go be seeing that movie, because there was other, I get it. It's two different brands, but I don't think that really matters movie trailer wise, right? Like, it doesn't matter that it's a Disney movie, does it? Seeing a Mario movie?
Yeah. The theater's got to make money. They don't care what brand it is, right?
I don't think that's like a dumb thought I was having where I'm like, I never really thought about that. I'm like, is it because it's not under the same umbrella as like Universal and they're not going to show a Disney trailer before a Universal one? Like, I guess not. Like, I don't know if there's agreements made before movies of what trailers show before it.
There may be some clause we don't know about. I'm not really sure.
I know
I
that
just
you
wanted to see it on the IMAX screen. Like, that's why I was giddy because I'm like, they got to show it. The movie's coming out next month, and it wasn't on there.
So I know that used to be a big deal. You wouldn't put a DC preview before a Marvel movie or different things like that. But again, the theaters, The theater. Oh, look who's there. The theaters. I guess they could be tracked down with that, but man, they're there to make money. They got to put butts in the seats, right? They don't care which brand. So unless there's something in the contract that says don't show these previews before our movie, I don't know. And it's so funny, you guys, that Michael Nipp brought that up when we talked about it. One of the things was that I had written down was, are you guys seeing any Grogu and Mando toys out and about yet? So there we go. We already knocked that off the list. But I would be remiss if I did not mention that the man with the painting skills and the man who's traveled so much of the world, Brent Dykman, has joined us, and it's so good to see his face. How you doing, Brent?
So much of the world. I don't know how true that is, but sure. Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you guys doing? Can I say how happy I am that I missed Toy Time?
It's not over yet.
Oh, damn. Okay.
We've only just begun.
I say that, and you know that like what I'm doing. So what I am doing right now, by the way, as you say, somebody asked me to assemble. This is a Twi'lek head. If you can, I got to try to get it to where you can kind of. It's upside down. This is the head of a Twi'lek that I'm cutting off. I'm trying to find. I have a bunch of rebels without heads.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to find the right heads. I was able to put a Sullustan head onto a rifle unit,
just like in Battlefront.
Yep.
How does that guy talk again, Brent? How do that? How's that guy talk?
Isn't that something like what he does? Like I'm trying to.
It's pretty close.
It's when they're flying the Falcon. When Lando's flying the Falcon again.
Yeah, he goes, oh, yeah, exactly.
Did you guys know that was a puppet?
What's that?
The guy in that suit.
No, there's a guy behind the Falcon seat.
That was the guy saying, talking?
Yeah.
I thought,
Nine Nub.
Yeah, I knew Nine Nub, and I thought Nine Nub was actually a puppet. Because they did pictures with him underneath. Like, he was one of the Muppets. He, like, worked on the Muppets and came over and did Nine Nub, I'm pretty sure. Now,
right, that's
the voice might be somebody.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
We've just been apart for so long, Brent. You were just ready to go at it. I get it.
No, I thought you said that Nine Nub had a voice. Like, anyways, I'll stop. So yeah,
I didn't know he was a puppet. I always figured it was a guy in a suit. Just
I did too.
That.
No, I knew Nine Nub because there's a whole thing with I don't know, one of the behind the scenes they did a big thing about the Muppets because the soundstage for Jim Henson and the Muppets was right next to, I think it was like maybe even at the Pinewood Studios or whatever the hell where they shot, but it was close. So they used a lot of the puppeteers.
The more you know, the more you know. Hey, real quick, as we know, Maul starts April 6th. Double episodes.
Here you go. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Huh. Nice job, Alf.
Well, thanks, Joe. I try.
Way to bring the heat. So I was reading up a little bit about Maul. I was looking at his background, his history, where we've seen him, where he's kind of going through the timeline. And then it led me to some of his Clone Wars appearances, which led me to some more detailed looks into the Clone Wars. There was a lot of stuff going on back then. And I know we've talked about it already, but one, for those of you who don't really listen to Rule the Galaxy that often or want to give us a chance, and I'm not sure if you knew this, but we've talked about it before. Maul was the original villain for George Lucas's sequel movies, correct? Am I wrong on that?
You are correct.
And he had Darth Talon, who was going to be his right-hand person. Okay, good. So Maul is he's bringing it into this, and I read somewhere it says Maul is bringing George Lucas's story, the way he wanted Maul to be to life. Have you guys read about this or seen this?
Yes.
Okay, Alfie, what does that mean in reality? I mean, he's not going to fit the same role as the main sequel villain.
No,
but this is where they want him
I think
to go.
So.
Really?
This is, and again, we're only getting little bits of information. We don't get to see the actual notes or drafts, or if there was ever a script or whatever. But I'm pretty sure in that interview, it was that Maul and Talon would be heads of the underworld, not another Timu Empire or something like that.
Timu Empire, I love it.
Right,
that's so funny.
So I think it's pretty much the same idea, but just on a smaller scale.
Okay. And instead of being during the sequel time frame, it's in the
it's going to be pre original trilogy.
Okay. Are we envisioning that? Because I saw another article talking about Devin, the Twi'lek who's going to be with him, the Jedi apprentice or what have you. Are we getting more vibes that she's going to fill more of a role like Darth Talon, or is this 14-year-old Jedi apprentice going to fill more of a role of the next person that takes the seat where Ahsoka has been for so long? You have a young Jedi instead of a Togruta, which I believe is what Ahsoka is. Have it be a Twi'lek, which is very popular in the Star Wars universe. Any thoughts on that? Are we seeing do we think she's going to go one way or the other on this? I see a lot of blank stares.
It looked like Alfie was about to say something.
I don't know, Joe. Go ahead.
I think the implication is there that it would be a possible Darth Talon. But then again, we only have a small segment of time to deal with. So that's a really epic character to introduce and then kill off eventually within a few seasons of the show. Now we could do the Star Wars thing where, she's like Ezra and is just on the other side of the galaxy, and that's why she's never in anything.
Correct. And that's where I was going with it. This is pre-original trilogy. Now we know they've kind of skirted the issues with Ezra and with Ahsoka during the original trilogy kind of things. And, so we know that Maul dies at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, but we don't know where this Devin goes and whether she is going to be someone who fills the role of someone like Ahsoka, or someone who grows into being a Darth Talon character. It's going to be hard to get rid of that character and blank it out before we get to the original trilogy.
Exactly. But, I mean, there's ways to get around it. And, the Unknown Regions is a very popular hangout for characters that you want to hide away for a decade or so. And it makes sense. She goes off looking for, Sith secrets or something. It writes itself. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and I mean, they got to have something up their sleeve if they've already approved season 2 before getting any numbers on the show, They must like what they see. And there's a plan, which is a good sign that Dave Filoni's first thing he's releasing as the head of Lucasfilm already has been renewed. Now, I know that it's his show and he's in charge, and maybe there's some more sway here. You got Damaro in charge as well. So this is like all new era lined up, but there's still obviously some order to everything. And I thought that was a really good sign.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I mean, I saw that the other day as well. Already greenlit for season 2. And like you said, only a handful of people have even seen what all's in this. So must be some good vibes coming off of it. Brent, we're not talking toys. Chime in with anything you want on any of these topics right here.
I have been so far devoid, and I want it just to happen. I have no idea. Like, okay, sure, they greenlit the second season. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, okay, but I don't even know the timeline. You guys talked about timeline. I'm not for positive on what the timeline looks like. How far into this? How far into the original trilogies do we go? How far
We
out are
don't. He's dead before then.
Maul is dead before then?
This happens between.
Maul gets killed as old man Obi-Wan. So I like.
Before A New Hope.
Before A New Hope, but it was on Tatooine when he was hunting them down.
Yes.
Okay. So all of this happens before any of the. How much of it involves Obi-Wan Kenobi series?
There's crossover timeline wise, I believe, but I don't think there should be any Obi-Wan relation to this series. Of course, James Arnold Taylor is still out there. It could happen.
I'm not saying he's going to show up. I'm talking timeline. Like that's my biggest problem with all of the shattered timelines and releasing things out of order. I just don't know where it fits, so I'll watch it and let it fall where it falls. I'm excited to see. Hopefully, I was watching something with Whitwer, who said that before they did anything, even in the Clone Wars, that Darth Maul was an intelligent guy and that he had to be intelligent, and it wasn't just like a one-line thing. So we'll see where he goes with this character and where they go with the story on this. I don't know. I don't want to have any preconceived notions of where things are going.
Love it.
Well, I can tell you he dies.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find a diagram on timeline, and all I see is that Lucasfilm confirmed that Maul Shadow Lord is set 1 year after the end of the Clone Wars.
Yes.
So this is like Bad Batch time era.
I was going to say, this is during Bad Batch, when Bad Batch is trying to avoid being Tarkined.
They're trying to stay out of the crosshairs.
Yeah, and that's what I was just looking up to see Jedi Survivors timeline. Sorry, if I mute in the middle of talking every now and then, I'm just beating a cough from being congested for a week. But Jedi Survivor is 5 years after. I'm hoping this show is a chance to see Cal Kestis. Like that's what I was hoping for, but that doesn't really make sense. 5 years.
Yeah, because 5 years after, then this is a year after.
Yeah.
Then,
and you have to think that when Maul shows up in Rebels, he's lost everything. Whatever crime empire he's building, it's gone.
Right.
He's a decrepit old man by that time, trying to find that holocron on Malachor, right?
Right.
Kenobi!
Hey, what other things related to Maul? Because I've got a few other Star Wars related topics to hit. What other things related to Maul do you guys see as topics we should cover before this starts? I will just throw it out there that no matter what's going to go on, I'm excited about it overall. The visuals look great. Maul's a good character. It's in a good timeline part. It's in a good part of the timeline to where I feel like it's going to draw in fans of the prequels and the original trilogy. It's a good fit for right now, and the animation just keeps getting better and better. So I'm 2 thumbs up, ready to go. I have no preconceived notions either, Brent. Like, I have no idea where the storyline's going to go, except that it's going to involve the underworld and bad guys versus worse guys, pretty much. So,
in dark side, I mean that's the big selling point right there. That's why we like Maul so much. He's a great dark side character.
But how dark are they going to go, right? Because that was the selling point of the show that shall not be named by most Star Wars fans.
Well, finish your point, and I will counterpoint that.
I'm just saying, so they said that they initially sold it, or at least when fans heard it, they thought it was going to be from the perspective of the dark side, and the show that must not be named still kept it from the side of the light side, and it didn't really like. Yes, it delved into it, but it didn't do it what the fans wanted it to.
And hopefully we've learned from that mistake that if you market the show and you put on the synopsis on your website that this is a Sith mystery from the perspective of the Sith, that there'll be some Sith in it, and you'll not dance around it the whole time.
Right.
Commit.
Right. And I hope we did learn from that, right? Because I would love to see more. I would love to see. Obviously, I'm a nerd and I play this game, but they have a lot of they have a lot of Black Sun. They have a lot of Pike Syndicate, and how did those guys work together, work against each other? How did he play both sides of those coins to build this Crimson Dawn? I would love to see homeboy Kira's boy that gets killed in Solo, Dryden Voss. I would love him in some ways be part of this. Like, how did he get to power? There's just a lot of power struggle things that I would love to see.
Well, he was already in power because he was in the last season of the Clone Wars.
And I don't know the Clone Wars as well as you do, so
yeah,
I'll take your word for it. I mean, I know you're right, but so he was. They showed him in the final season of Clone Wars. Season 7.
Maul puts out a warning to all the heads of the other families that Order 66 is getting ready to happen. And he tells them to go into hiding and lay low until he lets them know that the dust is settled. And you see Dryden Voss, the Pikes, whatever. I would assume that was Prince Nezor, but
mix an expanded universe into canon. Hey, D-Doc, how about you? I know we've gone around there a little bit talking Maul. Anything from you before?
I'm just as you guys are talking about, I was actually I just brought up a list of all of the Disney Plus Star Wars releases in order because I'm excited for an animated show again, and especially about this topic. I mean, the last animated show we got was Bad Batch. This says was Bad Batch only 2 seasons?
3.
Yeah,
I think it was 3.
This list only has Bad Batch season 2 as January 4th, 2023. I feel like Bad Batch was either way. For last year, for 2024, it has the Acolyte, Star Wars: Tales of the Empire. Then 2025, it has Skeleton Crew and Maul Shadow. 2025-26 is Skeleton Crew and Maul Shadow Lord. So it's like, I don't know. It's that it doesn't even have Andor on there. This list actually is terrible. But I'm just excited for it. I mean, we've hit some good runs in the past since doing this podcast, and
yes,
this is something new. I mean, the Bad Batch, there was a lot of good about the Bad Batch, and it also had its frustrations. And I just think that this is going into a pretty cool area of Star Wars, and I'm excited to see how they tell this story with Maul as the main character getting all this screen time and the new characters they're going to bring in, because like I said, it's already been renewed. So I think they're cooking with this show.
Yeah. And again, comparing it to you bring up Bad Batch. I have the same complaints with Bad Batch as I do the Acolyte. Commit. There were great storylines in Bad Batch, and they just dropped them for whatever reason.
Yeah, they did.
And went back to, the A-Team in space. And they had some really good potential, especially with the cloning and the mountain, the clone commandos.
Will we ever see Omega again now that she grew up and became part of the rebellion? Yeah, I mean,
never actually killed off, never actually ended the clones. You just left it out in the open again.
I was really liking all the talk of there would actually be the Clone Wars. clones versus troopers versus that would have been epic.
I think there's going to be like not a lot of room for goofing around with this show too. You know, I think it's going to be pretty serious. Like from the trailers, like I mean, I'm already drawing a blank on who they would get their jobs from in the Bad Batch, but you know, every now and then there was some, Sid. Every now and then they would just get some random missions from Sid where it was fun and stuff, but like you wanted things to move along. Where like I feel like this show is going to be very much focused on its story, and I think it's going to move it. I think it's going to be an intense story, is what I'm hoping for.
I would agree.
Well, since we have Brent back and it's one of his favorite things, I was wondering if you guys would mind if I read a quick couple notes on an article here. Are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Read some notes on an article that's one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
I am pretty curious, my friend.
This is an article by James Whitbrook. Came out earlier came out in March on Gizmodo.com. The title is The Hutt Sex Explainer You Don't Want, But You're Kind of Curious About. Star Wars' next movie, Mando and Grogu, raises a lot of important questions. Can the Mandalorian sustain the leap to the big screen? What's next for Grogu after rejecting Luke Skywalker? Why is Martin Scorsese's voicing a four-armed little weirdo? But one question has lingered above all. If Jabba the Hutt has a son, how did that happen? Star Wars sickos have known that Rada the Hutt, Stinky to his friends, has been part of canon since 2008 in the Clone Wars movie. But now he's back and distressingly buff, and every time new information about Rada's role in the movie appears, the question reemerges of how Hutts have sex. We have the answers. Do we want to know the answers?
Yes, absolutely.
While there isn't much known about Hutt procreation in Star Wars, it was detailed more in the old expanded universe because, of course, it was. Despite their slug-like appearance, Hutt physiology was drawn from many different familiar species. Hutt gender was inherently fluid and could be changed at will, and all Hutts were hermaphroditic, possessing multiple sets of sexual organs. That meant that any given Hutt could procreate asexually, as was the case with Jabba, who was the sole parent of Rada. But they could also partner with other Hutts to birth a child. Zero, Jabba's uncle, had two parents, for example, Mama and Papa. It remains unknown if these two Hutts in particular were actually named Mama and Papa or simply referred to them as such. Dear God. Little is known about the actual act, but we do know. Alfie, you're banging over there. You're doing Hutt stuff.
Is the bell going off? Dude, I don't know why it sounded like that clock when it went off. It sounded like that clock was in your microphone.
Like Big Ben.
It was loud.
I don't know why. It's never been like that before.
Just say it's on the other side of the house.
It was.
It was like there's a you have a plant mic somewhere.
Yeah, it was like in Cinderella. She's running. She's got to get out of there.
Well, finish it.
Yeah, Cinderella clock strikes midnight, correct?
That's
yes.
correct.
Little's known about the actual act, but we do know that once a new Hutt is birthed, a Huttlet, they typically spend the first 50 years of life inside a brood pouch, which all Hutts have regardless of gender, after which they emerge with the approximate maturity of a 10-year-old compared to other shorter lived species. So,
yeah. He was 60 years old?
So he stayed in a pouch for the first 50 years and came out as a 10-year-old. Yeah. Okay. There's tons more, but I just want to let people know some of that general beginning there because it's something that we've talked about on Rule of the Galaxy quite a bit. Brent has brought it up a number of times. How do Hutts have sex? Well, I don't know if that explained any of it. As Irvin Kershner once said, a kiss in Star Wars is like sex in the real world. Yes, he did say that. Yeah. So thank you, Michael Nip. But guys, what do you think? Can we run with that? I mean, there's a million different species out there. Are we good with that and where Stinky came from?
I can live with that.
I need more.
I sent you the article.
Are you a visual learner? Is that what you're saying?
I need AI generated video.
Oh no.
I'll send you the link tomorrow.
Alfie, of all people, I feel like you would have the link.
Yeah.
Either that or your Uncle Joe or Uncle Matt with all of his Star Wars museum toys.
It's Internet Rule 34.
And what's that?
If you can think of it,
it's out
there.
there.
It exists.
Yeah. Okay.
There's truth to that.
Internet Rule 34.
Okay. Well, I feel like I at least wanted to get that out there. So I'm going to go on to other brighter, fun topics.
How is that not a fun topic?
Like you guys, everybody kind of sat a little silent after I talked about the hut.
Well, we were listening to the story of it was story time with Joe.
Well, I didn't want to get too deep into it, so that's what we've got. That's as far as we'll go.
Jabba did.
Go. If anybody who's listening or watching wants, gizmodo.com, Hut Sex story is on there. You can go check that out. Did you guys see the stuff about Lord and Miller now that Project Hail Mary is going along so well and everything like that? That the discussion they were having said that Solo actually was planned to be a trilogy. They had a trilogy ready to go. That's what they signed up for.
Wow.
Are we buying in on this, or is that just them blowing smoke now that they probably are past their NDAs or their whatever they had?
I think anybody who comes up with the Star Wars idea always plans it as a trilogy. That's just Star Wars.
I will also go with what I say all the darn time. Movies take forever to be made. So would it surprise me that there was a trilogy that was on offer for Solo? No, it would not, because it takes so long to make movies. And they go through fits and starts, rewrites, and scrap, shelf, pulled back off the shelf. So yeah, I can see them, and I think I agree with Alfie on that too. Because Lucas went in threes, Star Wars is known to go in threes. So I would agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I could definitely believe it. I don't think they have any reason to lie about it either. I don't think they have any reason to be dishonest when it comes to what they were planning to do. They've been giving out a lot of good quotes to people about a lot of hot takes on certain things. Was it that director too who crushed the new Star Trek show as well? Because I feel like I saw the director of that was just like, yeah.
Was he the one who said that? I'll butcher the quote, but something about how I don't know. It was right in my mind and I lost it. I apologize.
There was a very funny quote that was like kind of tongue in cheek.
Something about how like new creators have never seen Star Trek before. Or
yeah.
I can't. It was a very clever quote.
And that show got canceled, correct?
Yeah.
The new Star Wars Academy show?
Yeah, the Star Trek Flight Academy or something like that.
There you go. See, Michael Nip bringing the heat tonight. Project Hail Mary, author that slammed Alex Kurtzman.
That dude's a stud. If you want to read science fiction, he wrote The Martian, and I read that book in like 48 hours. So I am a huge fan of Andrew. I think it's Andy Weir and his writing.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Knipp, if you know the quote, I would have to look it up. If you know it, feel free to drop it in. But it was interesting. That Star Trek show was canceled, but they already filmed the season 2. So like I think they're just going to have to like dead post to season 2 on I think it was Paramount.
Yeah, that's what I thought is they made it. So here we are talking about Maul season 2 getting greenlit already. They made the second season of that Star Trek show, and they're like, "Yeah, we're canceling it, but since we have it, we're going to go ahead and throw it out there for."
Can you imagine that in the Star Wars world if Acolyte was like, if Acolyte got the reception that it did, and it was like, well, guys, season 2 is already filmed, show's canceled, but we're releasing it. Like it would just be, it would be mayhem, dude. Like the videos that would probably come from it, it would be pretty bad.
You know, I don't know. Maybe they flipped the magic switch. Maybe more storytelling was in the second season, and we just didn't see it yet.
Yeah, I mean, we would have got a chance to see the dark side of Yoda, as Leslie recently said, where he's covers up murder and all that nonsense.
Oh. Rough. I didn't know she said that.
Yeah, Alfie, did you see that?
What's that?
Where Leslie Headland was talking about how you were going to see like the darker side of Yoda in season 2, how he like
covers
covered
it all up.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I mean, she just can't stop talking about how great season 2 would be.
Let it go, let it go.
Yeah, but if you were if you were creative and you wanted your baby to be out in the world, wouldn't you do the same?
Well, no,
thing?
I get it, and I appreciate the grift, but I mean, yeah, your show sucked. You burnt like $300 million.
I mean, trying to get your show back.
No one watched it.
Yeah, trying to get your show back. It doesn't help to be like, yeah, I was going to show the darker side of Yoda. Like, people don't want to see that because that's really something that doesn't exist. Like, sure, he can be, that you can say that they were naive or whatever when it came to what happened in the prequels, but it's not like he was going to be like making some kind of sinister moves. I'd have to look at the exact quote she said. Well, it was something along those lines.
He and Obi-Wan, let's face it, he and Obi-Wan did tell things from a certain point of view for a while. But at the same time, if you watch any and all of Star Wars, and especially the Clone Wars, where he had to go battle like some Sith ghosts and things like that. I mean, he had to battle, remember those faces where they kept spinning around? He had to like challenge himself not to give in to them. I mean, he went through some definite hardships to prove his value and his worth. And yeah, so I can't see him having a true dark side. Everybody makes mistakes, but him having a dark side, I don't see.
What you're talking about, though, was on Dagobah in season 5 of the Clone Wars, correct?
Yes, I believe it was season 5.
That's when they brought in Darth Bane's face, and he came up and was attacking Adam. So that is also 300 years past when the Acolyte was taking place.
It was more like 100.
Well, maybe 100 years.
Yeah.
Right? At 100 years and a global conflict later. Because that was after the Clone Wars, or was that during the Clone Wars?
It was during.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he can grow, he can mature. He was an idiot. He can cover things up because he thought that's what they needed to do. I mean, Ki-Adi-Mundi was there to help him cover it up, and then he continued covering it up.
Yeah, so here's a quote. The Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland planned for season 2 to feature Yoda as an accomplice in covering up Jedi crimes, specifically supporting Vernestra Rowe in hiding the truth about Chimere. Headland indicated this would explore Yoda's darker side and argued he has participated in similar morally gray cover-ups before in the Clone Wars.
I mean, Alfie, what have you said about the Clone Wars? Kind of from the jump that like the Clone Wars show how flawed the Jedi are.
Right, and then that would just make it even worse because now you've known for 100 years that a Sith was out there.
Yeah,
this is true.
It's not a bad idea.
Or did they think they
and
killed
that's
him?
The whole problem with the Acolyte. I'll just say it. It's the whole problem. It's all good ideas. You are just a terrible director and a terrible creator.
I would say terrible execution. I don't know if you can't say it's a good ideas and then say she's a terrible creator, because I feel like the idea is part of the creation. I think her execution was at like a middle school level when we're used to something that's at the college level. I think
I'm going to say terrible creator because absolutely every aspect of making a product besides the original idea was absolute dog shit. The dialogue was terrible. The acting was terrible. Your casting was terrible. Your sets looked like a 90s sitcom. Your special effects were terrible. The bread and butter of Star Wars, spaceships, they looked like something from the Sci-Fi Channel. It was just awful. Everything
they could have used the Night Sisters instead of this new group right here, and would have tied things in much better.
Horrible.
The power of one.
Yeah. And you can say I'm biased or whatever, but if you look at the numbers, that series died after that episode.
Yes. I mean and that's what I say. It looks like a middle school. That one, that was like the epitome of middle school, like high school drama teacher trying to be like doing a high school musical, and that's not what the polish that we wanted as fans.
And the worst part about all of it, and she just not her gets the blame. And I don't blame any of the actors or actresses because at the end of the day, they did what they were told to do. Yep. That show went through every single person who worked on it and somehow still saw the light of day. So, that's a whole lot of blame to go along. But it's like once a month, she comes out and says how great season 2 would be if you would just give her another $300 million. But it's not going to happen. It was a terrible show. Big financial loss.
She had a bigger budget than this Mando movie, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Like double.
Like considerably bigger.
Like double or triple.
I think we know they've said they're tightening the screws. They're tightening the budgets. They're tightening everything on future projects.
That's Star Wars right there. That's what made Star Wars great to begin with. You need people who can work around that problem and deliver a good product.
Yeah. Like we'd spoken about in the past with Night of the Seven Kingdoms and the big battle episode. Like it was a low budget episode and they found a way to make that battle look awesome. For Night of the Seven Kingdoms, they found ways to make you feel like you were in it, but they were using fog to cover up the location that they were in, and
the visor. That was a genius move to use the visor.
Yeah. So you really felt like you were in this big battle scene and everything, and it turned out that they had some pretty big budget restraints on it, and they filmed it in a certain way to really make you feel like you were in it, but it also gave them the ability to cut out what was around you a little bit. So
it sounds like almost like a Hitchcock way that he used to do things, right? Like Hitchcock would say, I'm going to scare you without you really even seeing anything. You know, I mean, and so that's pretty cool. And you're right. The great ones figure out a way to make it where you go, holy crap, did that just happen? And, you know, it was just, it's like our podcast held together with bubblegum and shoestrings. So, speaking of bad products, I read something the other day and it said, would or does The Hunt for Ben Solo fix The Rise of Skywalker?
No.
See, Brent, segues. Segways, Brent.
No, a segway's fine. It's just it's people on the internet, man. Like, I get kind of tired of them.
You do? You get tired of people on the internet?
Yes, Joe.
Okay.
Being facetious, but yes, Joe. I get tired of people on the internet.
I don't think it will fix it. I'm still waiting for the sequel trilogy resurgence that people say will happen for it, like the prequels, and I just don't think it's coming.
It took 10, 15 years for the prequels to have the resurgence.
That's what I saw.
You're wrong. You're completely wrong on that.
I bet you within 5.
The problem with and I get where you're coming from, Brent, but that's not true. The biggest difference between the sequel trilogy and the prequel trilogy is that the sequel trilogy ended at the height of the crescendo. The sequels ended at the lowest point.
Yeah, started high, ended low.
What do you mean by so what are you talking about? Are you talking about the are you talking about the social crescendo, or are you talking about the in-world crescendo?
Both, everything. Anything you can think of. Revenge of the Sith ended at the highest of highs.
Yeah, it started off with Jar Jar getting a numb tongue from a pod racer coupling to
stepping in poop
to the battle.
It started with George Lucas being asked if he was willing to make more movies since his big moment was such a failure. 2, oh my God, that movie was amazing. Please don't stop. That's the difference.
I have not been the most super fanish. So what I could tell you is from the casual fan and the casual watching and the casual viewing is where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I was sitting with a group of kids, high school age kids in my daughter was born in 2012. So in 2011, when was Rise of Skywalker? Or when was the Revenge of Skywalker?
Revenge of the Sith?
No, the third, episode 3. Was that 8? What year was, I don't know the years. When was it released? Episode 3.
2005.
I was sitting with kids in either 2011 or 2012, and they told me that sequels were trash.
The prequels were trash.
That's what I meant. Sorry, the prequels were trash.
Okay.
And that there was no reason to watch them.
Okay.
So from a general fan standpoint, that's why I was saying 10 years for it.
I could get on Twitter right now and read you comments that say the same thing today.
From a general fan perspective, I don't think it caught the resurgence until after. I know that there's nostalgia for it right now, and I know that it sells because hell, look at the toys and look what they do. They make clones all the time. Right? So we know that we know clones sell. We know that the fan base likes the clones. But my perception of the resurgence wasn't until the Disney purchased. So 2012, 2013.
Okay. And my point is that the prequel trilogy ended at such a high place, and the sequel trilogy ended at an extremely low place.
I get that part. So you're talking, so now that's why I was asking. So if you're talking social and people viewing it, people basically had checked out on the trilogy when Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Humans and society had checked out on it.
Right.
And I don't have an argument for that because you are 100% correct.
I mean, we're talking weeks after Revenge of the Sith released. They were still showing commercials on television. There was a Wookiee-centered commercial saying, hey, you got a week left. Go see the Wookiees one last time.
I did not remember that.
Yes.
I did not see that. I did
The Darth Vader helmet in flames was in every store. Every store had a Star Wars section. It was, and I get what I agree with you, but I think the resurgent is for episodes 1 and 2 and not necessarily episode 3.
But okay, so I'm going to ask something. Is that your personal, because like, let's not sit here and argue. Your personal favorite is the third. So
no, it has nothing to do with me. I'm telling you what I observed during that time.
I didn't know. I was just wondering if you were, because your personal viewpoint. I will also say there are a lot of people that say that 3 is their favorite as well. Like, of like I would say 10 years younger than me. So in that 35 range, I would say a lot of people say that 3 is. I think
a very good comparison is The Force Awakens. And if you look at the way, it was in the media immediately after it came out.
Jason.
I'm lost on Jason.
Hasbro. Sorry. I guess probably a typo error.
Is it major? Is it is right next to it? Okay, I see it.
Hasbro Walgreens exclusives during that time. I can believe that.
I just had a thought while you were talking about that. I was like, what did Revenge of the Sith make in the box office? I threw it in the old Chat GPT, and it made $868 million, and I told it to adjust it for inflation today, which would be $1.5 billion in today's market. 1.5 billion. Yeah. Which would be like 1.5 billion is awesome.
Yeah, and I think they're expecting this Mandalorian Grogu to do probably 500.
I really hope it goes. I hope it goes above that.
That'd be a good day. If you're on less than a $200 million budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we could bounce from we seem to always go back to the prequel sequels. 200 or 369 episodes in. Somehow we keep going down that canyon there.
It's the Pete Rose sports talk conversation.
LeBron versus Michael. Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's so hard to sequels. It's so hard to talk about like the hunt for Ben Solo and the sequels without like getting into like deeper conversations about like it and in its entirety. You know what I mean? Like it's so hard to not drift into it. I'm sorry if I was responsible for that.
No, that's fine. I liked it.
No, but you have to have a conversation. But the thing is, we have responsible and respectful conversations when we disagree too.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the hunt for Ben Solo is it's not a bad idea. It's not really a bad idea, but it's like the best of the worst ideas. It's not going to make The Rise of Skywalker that much better because that's just an awful movie. It's an awful plot, and
I have this. Go ahead, Alfie. Sorry.
Resurrecting that character isn't going to fix all those mistakes.
Yeah.
So one, D-Doc, can you find the Chewbacca Mom videos because those were crazy for a little while. I know
that was a good time.
Yeah. So to go along with that, while we're on this, I mean, let's go ahead. Let's hit this a little bit more. Is there? I've said for a long time, you want to make the sequels better, make something like Clone Wars, except that explains or jumps in and shows stuff behind. But I think we were all under the impression that the Mandoverse was leading us in that direction, but it's kind of not now, right?
Bad Batch seemed like it was going to go in that direction, and
yes,
like I was saying, that story just got dropped for some reason.
So, is there really anything that we can say would go? Oh, let's put these bits and pieces together, and it's going to make the story more coherent, better. Anything like that?
No.
YouTube is just giving me some wild ads. I'm trying to bring up,
and I'm not trying to be superly overly negative, but the characters aren't very good, and they went out of their way in the sequel trilogy to basically say nothing's happened in between these spans of time. They're just the same characters.
What do you like? Out of their way to say who, like the Finn and Rose?
Finn, Poe, Rose, name them. How did their characters change? Was there a drastic difference between any of their characters in any of the 3 movies? Besides Rey wore white robes.
Finn didn't know Rey, and then couldn't stop yelling her name, so there was a change there.
Right, and Finn all of a sudden was really good at using the gun in the Falcon. That was like his major character development.
Wow, Dr. Squatch, this is not something I was expecting to see here.
You know, it doesn't seem like he has a very good bedside manner for a doctor. Let's be blunt.
Basically, you're pulling the plug. Okay, yeah. Doc, it's a bad. This one's got a bad heart. We're pulling the plug on it.
The reason the Clone Wars works as a TV series is because you have a gigantic plot that does not involve the main characters. The Clone Wars. And that's pretty good. You can sprinkle the main characters here and there to add some depth to your story. They're not necessarily important to the story of the Clone Wars. Now, what conflict would you use for the Resistance in the First Order?
I mean, there's time.
You're going to show the big question everyone wants to know is like how they got the 5 X-Wings in the Rise of Skywalker. Nobody cares.
About the Resistance or about
there's no we were Group A and somehow we have turned into Group B, and there's a path of stories to get there. They're essentially the same characters in every film. Even the little subtle, hey, how did Anakin get the scar on his eye? That was a potential for stories. You have to have some growth in between each movie to where you could explore, hey, how did this character get this way?
Yeah, I mean, I will go back to, I think the biggest mistake was, and I think we've all said it, but the fact that so many things, but they didn't give it the time, right? So you had the Empire that had span time. You have time, right? So between episode 2 and 3, there was time that you could fill that gap. They gave it time and time to breathe and time for friendships to develop off screen that you could then maybe talk about in between. The time that I see that could help the sequel trilogies, and I am not in the Dr. Squatch range. I think I was hopeful, and I still will watch it. The Resistance had a chance if people gave it a chance. I think what happened was, how long after Revenge of the Sith did the season 1 of the Clone Wars start?
You mean in real life?
Yes.
Hey guys, I got to check out.
Yep, you got to, man. Get to work.
Good talking to you.
Yep. Let's see. I believe so. Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005. The movie came out, D-Doc, what, 2008, something like that? The actual movie. I know they had the Genndy Tartakoff, small Clone Wars series. That was probably around that same time frame. But I want to say it was, well, they did 5 seasons, so right around there. 2009 was when the Clone Wars series started, because it ended in 2014. I believe.
So where I'm going with this is, when did the Resistance start after the sequel trilogies? Like a week?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of things like that, like you're mentioning. I think it's a movie coming out every. What's that?
Resistance was October 7th, 2018.
And when was Last Jedi?
Clone Wars started in 08. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, I think that's the movie, was 08, as Joe just said. And what was the other one, Brent?
What the hell did I say?
Last Jedi came out in 2017, I believe.
Yeah. So we're already in our
it came out in 2017 because
we're already in our full-fledged hate of anything Star Wars because of Last Jedi. I think if you gave the Resistance time. Now, are there other flaws with Resistance? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a perfect series. But I think the Resistance could have been your vehicle. What happened in Resistance, though, if you watched it, which is probably about 12 of us in the United States.
It got rushed.
If you watch it, you can tell that they were canceling and getting rid of things because I thought you could take season 1 and continue to build season 1 because I thought it had a good story, and that maybe they could build like by season 3 or 4, you would get to the actual movies. Well, at the end of season 1 of The Resistance, you're at the movies, and then season 2 just kind of went off into space and they did their own thing because they knew that it was time to move on. Yeah. I thought that could have and had the potential to be a vehicle to do similar things for some people, like the Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy.
I mean, you had Leia in it, you had Poe in it, you had Phasma in it. So, I mean, you had people from the sequel trilogy.
You also had Cardinal. You had not Cardinal. Yeah, Cardinal.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Cardinal with all red as opposed to being, and then there's another one that was all gold as well.
Captain Pyre, I believe.
Pyre, I think, is the one that's all gold. So you had new characters. Yeah, you had Kazuki or whatever his name is, and he was a little goofy. But I think you could have got there, right? And I think there was something there with pirates. There was something there. Like there were multiple storylines that you could have played out.
I think you're right on that. That was what they were probably looking to build when they started it. But I think the making a numeric movie every other year, not using the same director and people on every one of them, and then also making the movies in Star Wars universe. Force Awakens ends, Last Jedi starts. There's no breathing. Like you left Star Wars, and 2 or 3 years later, when the movie came out, you were in Empire Strikes Back because 2 or 3 years later, that's when that was taking place.
Back, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you had breathing room in between for the characters, as Alfie said, for the characters to grow. They grew off. They left those mysteries out there. They grew off screen. Stories happened that led to that next round of movie, and it was so forced and gone through so fast. None of that was able to happen.
Right.
So it was a mixture of all those, but I agree.
And Resistance looks very stylistically different too.
Oh yeah,
than a lot of other Star Wars animation. So
and
maybe
there's other things that are wrong with it. Like I think that like if you would have kept the style of the Clone Wars, I think you catch more people. If you would have maybe changed the voice of Kaz, I mean his voice is just annoying. Yes, he's a whiner, but every damn show on Star Wars has a whiner, and if you give him time to develop, the whiner develops over time. If you give it time, it'll develop. But yeah, he was whiny. Okay, that's fine. But like, I think it was just there was a really high pitched sound to it that really irritated people.
And Brent, to go along with you and D-Doc mentioning the style, the first season of Rebels, people were standoffish to that because it was a different style than the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They looked and said, whoa, I'm used to this over here, this storyline. This is feeling more kid-like because of the animation. And then again, you take the whiny kid and you let him grow over 4 seasons, which took place over a number of years. It did stylistically change and make the story deeper.
Yeah, but there's also two other things that happened with that too. Like they grew, but like I think you also have you brought in Fulcrum, which people thought was Ahsoka from the jump. So you bring in another character like that. You give these hints of Vader. I'm trying to think. There's another thing that I was going to say about Rebels that allowed it to continue and grow, but people weren't as quick to pull the plug. Like it was a different age. It was a different time.
Yeah.
It wasn't make me money right away or you're done. So they were able to do what they wanted to do with the show and let it grow.
Agreed. I did want to throw this out there about Mando and I'm sorry, about Imbo. Imbo's going to be in, what is he going to be in? It's going to be in Maul? It's going to be back in Maul, right? Or is he going to be in
Imbo's going to be in Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. There we go. Imbo's dog, in the meantime, from the Clone Wars, has passed. So we were wondering if we're going to see that cool dog that he had with him that he kind of worked hand in hand with, partnered in. Somewhere in the storyline, it says that he had passed away before Mando and Grogu. So
I thought you meant like Lassie passed away, like the actual dog.
No. The character in the show. Another thing that I wanted to bring up is while I was doing that deep dive into the Clone Wars, there were some people who had done some videos on YouTube on season 7 and season 8 of the Clone Wars because a lot of those storylines were already built. Some of them were Maul related. Some of them were Asajj Ventress related that either became comics or the Dark Disciple book, things like that. Some of season 7 got put into actually season 7. But one of our long-standing jokes that goes all the way back probably 360 episodes is the Yuzong Vong.
Oh my God, your brother.
We're going to be in season 8 of the Clone Wars. They were going to be put into season 8 as I don't know if it's a tie-in to all the books and everything that came out late, that they did stories on, or just to bring them in to make it to where it wasn't the Rebels versus the Empire or whatever. But in the season 8 of Clone Wars, they were building something, and one of the storylines was the Yuzong Vong, and that blew me away. I probably had heard that years ago, blanked it out, forgot it, but I was in so much love with those new Jedi Order books that came out, that whole series way back when, with those characters, that it just kind of lit a spark with me to think, man, the different things that happened when the Disney stuff occurred and the buyout and we're going to shut down Clone Wars because we want to move away from that and all this, all those things that were out there, just absolutely crazy to think about. D-Doc, you've never read any of those books, have you?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Joe, you need Alfie on this one. Alfie is the only one that's going to support you on this one because we both have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I've fallen out of audiobooks like consistently where like I was really listening to them a lot. I've fallen out of it, and it's something I want to get back into. It's probably been at least a good year or year and a half where I've gotten totally out of rhythm and just have not been listening to audiobooks. So I've been thinking that I want, like when I was telling you, Joe, that I had taken the kids to Barnes and Noble and saw the Star Wars books there. It was, I was just like, I just need to start listening to some of these books and just expanding a little bit.
I would say very simply, if you listen to the 3 Thrawn books, if you listen to that new Jedi Order series, which is 19 books, so be prepared. And then there was another one, I believe, Legacy of the Force, that happened after it. There was 9 books. I'll have to double check. I'm sure Dr. Squatch or Michael Nip, who are chiming in, could tell you. But the storyline that those lead into for Jason Solo, Jaina Solo, and Anakin Solo, and Ben Solo. Ben Solo was Luke's son in the books. Anakin Solo was Han and Leia's son in the books. Those storylines are absolutely great. Let's see here. Michael Nip. Yes, that's just one step closer to the planet that crushed Chewbacca. Yes, in the new Jedi Order, spoiler alert, in the very first book, Chewbacca dies. He gets crushed by a planet. It destroys Han. Dr. Squatch, I recently learned all about the Yuzong Bong. A patient told me all about it, which was wild. I'm going to tell you, Doc, if you go check out those books, and I would check them out on audio if you get a chance, 19 books. Not all of them are perfect out of the 19, but I would bet you 15 of them are really good. There we go. Read all those dang books, Michael Nip. It was a journey. It was. And when Chewbacca died, I mean, I sat there and closed the book and I looked around going, is this really how this is happening? I was like, Chewbacca's dying? It was, and you were talking about getting the fans in an uproar. Yeah. Read the books as they have re-released, and Legends, those have been the good titles. There you go. So there you go. Out of that series, D-Doc, just for you, I'll go back and grab those series and put them together so you can know the titles and the number and all that, so you can check them out in audiobooks. And honestly, I don't know what audio, thing that you go through. I go through a few different ones, but some of them are free, if you get them right, and you can just listen. So, but yeah, Tony, I know if he was listening would get a kick out of that. But I mean, I haven't thought about the Yuzong Vong in a long time. And D-Doc, when I sit there and complain and say, why did we go to the First Order when we could have just put them into it? It was an easy fix and probably would have made the sequel trilogy quite a bit different. But yeah, just putting a Timu Empire, as Alfie said, probably was not the best thing to do. So what else do you guys got? We've been going for a while. I know everybody's tired, chasing kids, doing work, painting stuff. Anything else you guys want to cover or we need to cover?
Oh, I'm thinking right now. I mean, the one bit of Star Wars news I saw today was Maul being renewed. And I did see the puppeteer for BB-8 said he thinks that the sequels will have the same treatment as the prequels years from now. So that's kind of how I snowballed off of your question earlier. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm just excited for the near future of Star Wars. It's like really close. We got this Maul show, and this Maul show is going to just catapult us right into the Mandalorian movie. So we got a lot of exciting things coming up.
I'll recap here at the end because what you guys, I jumped on late. I spent a week in Milwaukee. I believe that is Algonquin for a good land. It's
Milwaukee.
It's Milwaukee. It's Algonquin for a good land. There is a giant convention of nerds that play the tabletop wargaming. So we're talking Warhammer. There's Warhammer Age of Sigmar. There's Old World. There's games called Infinity, Star Wars Legion. It is where they host the World Championships. There were 180 players trying to vie for the title of World Champ. They had to play to get into the top 64. So I was there walking around. They also then decided to drop the new news for my Star Wars Legion game. I was there teaching people how to play, so I had to talk for 10 hours a day. It's a lot of talking. But the new news is that's also where they launch the product that's going to be on the shelves in the next couple of years. So they are coming out with a Armorer model, a Paz Vizsla model, an Axe Wolves model, a new sculpt for the Mandalorian, and an entire Mandalorian battle force with new sculpts for Mandalorians. So you can play as a full Mandalorian with so they have the Night Watch, they have Clan Bo-Katan, the Clan Crazes symbol, they had the Armorer symbol, and then I think they had the Mudhorn, which was Mando symbol. They have the Mythosaur as well. So they are the symbols, and those are the factions of that you can fly as Mandalorian. So that actually will be coming out this summer. Shockingly connected to something that's coming out in May, right? So they're trying to capitalize a little bit on that. The other thing that they dropped that is coming next summer or next year at some point, there is going to be a flyer in each of because this is like ground battles for Star Wars Legion, but they are putting in the X-wing and the TIE fighter, and they showed a video with the Mandalorian's Fang fighter. And there is rumored that there's going to be a vulture droid for the droid CIS team. So every major faction's going to get a flyer of some kind. I don't know, maybe like the Delta Wing, or something like that, or like a V-wing fighter, like a smaller version of the X-wing for the Republic. But everybody's going to get their version of a flyer to use in the game. But yeah, so spent a lot of time up there in Milwaukee playing Star Wars, talking Star Wars. Don't have any pictures because I just don't do it that way. But yeah, there's several hundred players playing the game.
That is awesome.
I'm glad you get to go. I'm glad you get to spend time with that and do that. That is awesome. So, and I like all the stuff they're coming out with. It seems like it's growing in popularity. It seems like it's still coming, hopping off the shelves. So
yeah, so like in these miniature war games, like to get the player base to stick around, that could be why I didn't even think about it, but that could be why they're putting in the flyers is because of Starfighter, maybe. But it's also just because they're iconic to Star Wars too. Let's not kid ourselves. If you walk past a table and you see an X-wing, you're gonna stop and look at it. Like it's just gonna take your eyes. But I don't know where I was going with that. I got sidetracked.
You're right.
Nib's comment.
I have a question for you, Brent. How important is the scale of the Lambda shuttle that you want me to 3D print for you?
So my idea, the toy that he has is probably too big. My idea is to have the so Legion is 1/48 scale.
Yes.
So whatever, if you can get it to be that. So my idea, I showed you what I did, where I painted the one that I have and put it on a star field.
I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. Something like that.
So
does that work?
Yeah, I mean, so what my idea is to do that, right? But have the Lambda class shuttle. So have it face up and have the wings and everything stand out 3-dimensional coming out that way.
Okay.
So to try to make it like I said, it's on a star field and just attach it to the frame. So in relation to the Y-wing, I'm probably, something like that. Like, can you zoom in on that picture that's right there? That scale would be fine.
Right there.
That scale would be fine.
Yeah, there's another one that I really like on another website, but it was in the air, and I didn't think you would want it in the air. So if you did want it in that position, I mean, I could print that bad boy and send it out to you.
So I could do either the one landed or the one flying, but so that's the idea, right? So how I would mount it would be a little bit different, and how it would fit on that star field would look a little different.
Oh, so you want it to put it on? You want it to put it on one of those? Okay. So say that again, because I was looking at my screen while you were holding that up, so I couldn't see that.
So if you look, this is just a picture frame, right? And then yes. I was able to super glue, and it's been able to hold. I didn't expect it to hold, but it sits up on the wall like that.
Okay, so do you want it to be coming out?
Yeah. So it's just like I mean, have you seen the Legos? The way they do the Legos?
Yeah.
So that's where I got the idea from. Is just attach it onto there. Put a little star field behind it. But yeah, so something in that neighborhood, so I can just have it hanging next to this Y-wing, and the Lambda class is like one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're awesome. I'm back online looking at paints and looking at new paint brushes and stuff, Brent. So I'm trying to get my skills back up.
Hey, it doesn't. There is a lot of stuff at that.
I was showing them earlier. I was messing around with a clone trooper that was a failed print. I just was throwing some paint on it and some Eagles colors. I kind of gave this guy
the shoulder pad green, and some silver. Yeah. I like it.
And I kind of did like the Eagles wings on the top of the helmet just to see what it looked like. I was like, I don't care if I screw it up. I did a little weathering on it too, but this is not an accurate clone trooper. Like when this printed out and I was taking the supports off it, I'm like, it's not there. Like a lot of the armor on it is not accurate. So
there's at that conference or the convention that I was at, there is a lot of hobbyists. So there's a lot of different types of paints. And at my store, they have markers now that are acrylic paint markers. So you don't even like if you can color with a marker, you can actually do a lot more. It's a lot less intimidating once you just like sit down and try to do it.
I love the painting. It's actually a problem for me because like if we got off this podcast and I had something that I started messing with, I can't stop. That's my problem. I can't stop doing it until it's done. So like I'll be up until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning painting something.
Oh no, I have I think
I've got a little Gimli here.
I have to walk away. Like I have to walk away from it. So my process is I do something like right now I have my orc for my blood bowl. He's not done. So I get some paint on it, slap some paint on it, do some weathering, and I have to walk away from it because I think it's crap and I want to keep messing with it. But what'll end up happening is if I walk away from it and come back to it, I look at it the next day and I'm like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I painted a Gandalf that I'm pretty proud of. It's sitting over there, but I'm starting to get my skills back a little bit. Let me grab the Gandalf and then we can wrap this up.
You're good. While he's doing that, I'll give some final shout outs here. Michael Nip, I'm hoping Starfighter is a catalyst for something new. Hyperspace Heroes, hey guys, can't wait to listen to the replay. Have a great night. Maul is going to rule. Dr. Squatch, despite me coming down hard on the sequels tonight, I'm actually pumped for new Star Wars content coming out. Excited to discuss with you guys. That is a gorgeous Gandalf right there, D-Doc. Michael Nipball, you guys are showing that stuff. This is a whole new level of Star Wars collecting. I'm loving it. And he's seated for the Robert Pattinson Zendaya flick, so he's bowing out. Okay. Yeah. He does do a movie podcast called Cinema Debrief. So that is why he's in the theater again. That was a great Gandalf. D-Doc, your skills are improving every day.
Yeah, Brent. Look, I'm trying here. I'm trying to improve this Gandalf. I was happy with it. It's a simple paint job and it's definitely bigger than your scale.
So what I would say, one thing I would do, right? Whether you want it or not, I'm going to give you some.
I'll take it. I love criticism.
It's a dry brush, right?
Yeah.
So you have like a black robe. If you do like a light gray, like a dark gray, and you get nothing but like just do a simple dry brush, it'll catch those robes high part.
Yeah, I actually did dry brush this.
You can.
It's not going to show up on my camera, but like on the ripples and stuff, I did dry brush it.
Okay. I mean, that's the only thing. From here, that was the only thing that I think I could say would be like a major piece to get better.
Yeah. And yeah, I need to get better at tones, but I don't like my paints. I've had the same paints for like 5 years probably. I need to get new ones. So
what company do you use?
I have Army Painter.
They're not bad.
I like them, but I just think that I've had them for so long, and I don't know. I need to mix.
They got new formulas. I'm sure they got new formulas called War Paint. But I like them because they are the cheapest.
Yeah.
Cheap is sometimes good. Hey, I'm going to post out. I saw somebody write an article the other day. So as we close up my stuff here, one, I'm going to post out my book list on Twitter that I think if you're wanting to look for Legends books, that'd be cool to check out and go check either read or audiobook. I'll put together my list of a top list to go through. Also, somebody posted the top Clone Wars Rebels episodes to watch before you start watching Maul, so you can see everything that he did from the Phantom Menace until now to get ready for the Maul series. So I'll post that out as well in case anybody didn't see it, so you can read through or watch through all of those maybe this weekend in a mad rush before you watch Maul next week.
Monday.
Monday. We will come up with a new plan. We'll have a plan for everybody as where we're going, what we're doing with the Maul series. We plan on bringing you content of regular, everyday Star Wars stuff, but also to cover Maul directly, maybe do our reviews and thoughts on the Maul episode by episode, and then recap it at the end. And then we're planning to see what we're going to do around Mando and Grogu and where it goes from there. So April and May will be very busy here on the Rule of the Galaxy podcast. We will try to get in another Those Guys episode, another Across the Space Whale Pond, and another Southern Rim episode sometime soon. Working on scheduling with all those guys right now. But that's all I've got. Guys, what's that?
I like the names.
Thank you. Those were given to me by some of those members right there. So Michael Nip might have given me one of those names. But you guys have been great. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate Alfie being here as long as he could. And I'm just excited that we all got to talk because it definitely felt like the good old days when we got to sit here and bounce around things and watch the ping pong ball bounce between all of us on these topics. So thank you guys very much. Anything you guys want to close up shop with? Are we good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Hey, from all of us on Rule of the Galaxy, again, like and subscribe on YouTube, watch us live, or later on, we're on all podcast platforms of choice. Rule of the Galaxy. Email us ruleofthegalaxysw@gmail.com. And until next week, when Maul is around, may the Force be with you.